Welcome back! Before we start on Think Outside the Block, there's something I need to take care of that's kind of housekeeping related first. You may have noticed in the previous video that my score was dramatically reduced from the amount that I had built up over the first 3 videos, and the reason for this is because, for whatever reason, I downloaded a new version of this set, and it was under a completely different name when I put it in my Tile World folder, but once I did, it seemed like that was when everything on my save file for this set was erased. Now, I could just play the new set, but unfortunately, it's playable only in links, and I love playing in links, but I had started this LP in Microsoft's rule set, and I do intend to finish it as such. So I apologize for the inconvenience. I am going to continue using the old version of the set, and I hope that's not a problem. There's just some very, very minor changes that were made as revisions, and I'll explain what those are as we get there. But at any rate, my score is returned back down to 0 once more, because for some reason once I played, or once I finished playing in the last episode, I guess everything got deleted again. So I don't know what's going on. But anyway, think outside the block. Let's see what we've got here. Looks like we need to bridge through here and then up that direction, so let's go up this way. We can't use the block on the bottom, and I don't think, yeah, there's nothing under it, so let's just venture forth. We got some gliders here, but they shouldn't be that much of a concern. Just be careful. That probably wasn't a good example of being careful there a few seconds ago, but anyway. Let's get more of these red keys before we move on. This is a pretty fun level. Not my favorite, but it's still pretty fun. I'm just gonna wait. Probably the best move. And there we go. Okay, we're just gonna stand. Whoop. There we are. Nice when there's a larger gap. All the blocks on these islands have chips under them. Don't bother looking for flippers. Okay, so we got a bit of a navigational challenge here, and it may look like guesswork, but actually it's not. If you look on the right, you'll notice that if we were to bridge there, we would go up through that island. We'd be forced to go either up or left, and up would lead us to another block, which would have a chip, but it would just return us back down. So we need to go down here first. And the same is true for here, because if we go down, that's not going to lead us anywhere. We could go right or down here, and right would take us to the easternmost middle island, and which would then force us up, or to the right if there was anything there. But it looks like the downward path will get us more stuff while accomplishing the same thing, so let's do that. And it looks like there's nothing over there, so we need to go up this way. And there we go, we got everything. Good deal, let's head on to the exits. But where is the exit? Well, it's up there, and we need 5 blocks to get to it, 2 for each of these columns, and then 1 to go left or right if you approached it here. But we only have 4 blocks. Well, that's a bummer. Well, we don't really have anything else to do, so let's use them, and maybe there will be something over here. Aha, there's another island there. With a clone machine, okay. Now, if you had gone to the left side, there would have been another one of these little islands, I guess peninsulas or whatever you want to call them. But instead of a clone machine, there would have been like 12 or so blocks on there, so you would have had plenty of blocks to use. So either way, you would work everything out. There's no guesswork, really. So let's just clone 4 more blocks, now 3 more blocks, and we will make it to the exit. If I don't stumble into the water first. Alright, we're doing fairly well so far. I always get nervous when I do stuff like this because I had kind of a bit of a traumatic experience when I was little playing on the rocks, when I would die late into the level from misstepping. And there we go. Think outside the block is done. Paramecium Palace. Use brown buttons to wake the king bug or queen Paramecium. All blue walls are solid. So the palace is named after the queen instead of the king? Oh, maybe she has more power here. Maybe it's like chess, you know, where the queen is more versatile and stuff. I'm not trying to make any sexist remarks here or anything, by the way. I just thought it was interesting. Let's see what we can do about this bridging. Looks like we just have to get another block, and there's a Paramecium guarding it here. Alright, we are on the other side. Let's just dodge all these monsters. And I think I saw some fire boots somewhere. There we are. I really like the feel of this level. It's very, it alternates between open and closed areas, and it's very effective as such. It's mostly enclosed, but I love the fact that there's like this nice moat area that you can go through, and it's a little bit more open, and you can dodge these gliders like crazy here. Okay, well, we got some yellow keys, but now the question is what to do with them. Well, there's a couple of yellow doors, so no guesswork. I guess these bugs could have either been Paramecia or bugs. I call them all bugs just because they're very tiny, or they're supposed to be tiny, and they're insect-like. Let's see. We've got the Queen Paramecium and the King Bug right above us. So we need to wake either one of them, apparently. Well, let's get these last two chips before we do that. And it looks like here we get a little challenge regarding which direction the Paramecium follows. And we need to go all the way out here before we can successfully circumvent it. Which we did, and now presumably there will be a similar challenge involving a bug on this side. Indeed, alright. And we'll need to run all the way over here. I like little challenges like that in terms of running away from monsters for CCLP1. I'm not a big fan of chase racing for CCLP1. Nightmare from CC1 had some miniature chase races, but nothing like the CCLP2 level, though. Okay, Paramecium Palace has been conquered. Maybe we're the new reigning queen? That would be kind of odd. Let's see what this level's all about. Difficulty switch. The longer you wait to hit the button, the slower the tanks and walls will switch. So presumably, if you hit it sooner, the level will be much more difficult. I like the concept of this level, but it is a little bit annoying in the sense that you really cannot see what's controlling everything. Which I normally don't have an issue. I mean, I do have an issue with that in some cases, but here it's not that bad. It's just, it would just kind of be cool to know what was controlling it. It's not like assembly line where you know that there's a bunch of clone buttons being pressed, and you know there'd be like a warning shot fired, and there's monsters taking care of all that. And you know there's monsters doing that here too, but how they're doing it would be kind of interesting to know. Also, if you're playing the fast version of this level, which is supposed to be the harder version in Lynx, it is really hard. Thankfully you can turn that off by waiting to press the button, but just fair warning, it is difficult. Also, this section is kind of a little irritating. Mainly because you can get stuck between toggle walls like this. And there are times when the toggle walls, especially if you're on one of the faster settings for the buttons, will actually alternate while you're on the ice, which makes things kind of a little, well, you know, a little crazy. Like if it was faster right there, it would be really hard in one of the faster button settings. Overall, though, I like this level. I wouldn't say I love this level, but, I mean, I enjoy the concept of it. Whoa. And let's get some chips and wait for the walls to switch. I'm going to wait for, there we go, because I need to get these. And just in the nick of time. Let's wait for that wall, and then we'll go up and get these two. I better take care of this. Probably a good idea. Unfortunately, we don't have a yellow key, but I want to say we saw a spot for it somewhere, either not here, but in the other area. Which I want to say is down here. And I don't think we've been here yet. Wait, did we? We may have gotten something from here earlier. I think we did. But we're almost done. I don't know, this level is kind of growing on me. It's just surrounded by such good company, though. I'm not going to cheat and open the door while the tank is facing it. I'd have to wait anyway. Okay, 36 Cell is the next level, and it is presumably the sequel to 25 Cell from much earlier. Except this time we've got 6 by 6 as the dimensions for the grid. I like these levels a lot, but I think the best one is the next one. Mainly because it's just the right size, and it features a little bit more of a challenge without being too crazy about it. This one's pretty decent too, but the next one really takes the cake for me at least. I kind of built, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I built my own level that was sort of a rip-off of these levels called Loop Isle. And it was a much smaller level, but it involved like block pushing and other things, which kind of made it a little complicated. And lately I've kind of been realizing that complications are not exactly the best thing for this game, since it is kind of inherently complex to begin with. Of course, there are times when complex is a good thing, but where am I going here? I need a red key to get in there, but here we go. Okay, so now we're in business. Okay, there we go. Now we can go through the red door this way, which grants us the final chips. Not bad. I prefer a level like this to something like Trinity, where you have to go through long passages before you discover that there's a force floor blocking your way. It's just nice to have it all there right in front of you. Crossover is the next level. It looks like it's a maze. I quite like this maze. This is, I think, one of my favorite maze levels, mainly just because it's very basic, and at the same time, it's easy to lose yourself in this maze, which, for some people, I understand that can be kind of a little bit annoying, but on the other hand, it's a testament to just how well designed the maze is, and it is kind of nice just to mindlessly go through a level without having to worry about, you know, thinking too hard, but part of me saying that is just because CCLP 3 was just really hard. Now, while we're here, there's something I should probably mention now that I've brought CCLP 3 up. A long time ago on my CC1 Let's Play, I mentioned that I really had no intention of playing CCLP 2, but I did plan to play CCLP 3 when it came out. The latter part of that is still true, but I do actually intend to play CCLP 2. I've kind of grown a little bit more fond of it in the days that have since passed after the CC1 Let's Play. And since CCLP 3 was released sometime after that, I've kind of come to, I don't know, just disapprove of it a little bit more. It's kind of an old shame for me, I must admit. CCLP 3 was filled with so many difficult levels and so many annoying levels that it is a part of our history, and I respect it on that level, but it is very, very difficult to go through as a game and still enjoy it. And when I say as a game, I mean like I'm doing here with the Let's Play, you know, playing everything in sequential order and just trying to progress like a normal person would with multiple levels in one sitting. By the time you reach the triple-digit levels in CCLP 3, trying to pull that off becomes nearly unfeasible, because each level takes potentially hours. And it just becomes so burdensome that it's just not fun. Unfortunately, I didn't really think about that at the time that CCLP3 was being made, just because I was approaching it from a veteran's point of view. But from a casual player's point of view, it's just not a very good set. And playing sets like this, where, you know, there isn't really a whole lot of heavy-duty thinking involved, has been kind of a bit convicting, I must say, especially in respect to my own levels, just because a lot of them still involve quite a fair amount of hefty thinking, even if they're not always at the CCLB3 level of difficulty. So, I must say, it is kind of an old shame, like I said, but I do intend to go through CCLB2 and CCLB3 as part of a retrospect on our community's preferences toward level design, because I think that would be very interesting. Let's see what we can do as far as getting to the exit. I think it's this way. Yep, it is this way. And we are out of the crossover. Key Arithmetic is the next level. I really like this level a lot. I don't know if it's exactly the best CCLP1 level, but for a veteran, it's very enjoyable, I think. So, basically, as you can see here, we need to get quite a few chips, and there are keys along the way that'll help us toward that end. So our objective, initially at least, should be to get all the keys that we can possibly get. There are certain trade-offs like this in which you can substitute one key for another one, but I'm not going to do that yet. I will, however, do this because we get a chip in the process and we get the same colored key, so we actually gain something from that. It also appears that we need a yellow key for to access those other ones, and that looks like a worthy investment, so let's see where we can get one. We also have different, differing numbers of chips behind each door, and it seems like it would behoove us to go through the doors that lead to more chips. So let's keep an eye out for that. So where is that yellow key? We need to find that. Ah, here we go. Good stuff, good stuff. So let's go and get 3 more keys and actually get some chips in the process while not really losing anything. We also have a green key there in the background, which looks attractive, but if memory serves correctly, there's not a lot that you can actually get with a green key. You'll notice that there's hardly any chips behind the green doors. And while it may look enticing because you wouldn't really need to get another key to get to one of the exits, whereas the other exits would just require another key from you, it really is not worth it. So now the question is which keys or which doors to pursue now, and I'm just going to go through and get all the doors, or open all the doors that have tons of chips behind them. So let's do that. I don't think there's another yellow key we need, but... Oh wait, no there is. We need to get those chips there on that side, because we got 2 sets of 4 chips here, which is very nice. We're already down to 12, which is not bad. I don't think we can do any more here, but that looks like a worthy investment, potentially. As well as that. What else have we got here? We got a few more. I'm not exactly in a hurry to get through the doors that have only 1 chip behind them. I don't think that's very wise. One thing you do have to keep track of here is how many red and blue keys you've got, but thankfully there is potential for trade-offs. And I want to say there's a blue with a red behind it, so let me make sure of that. Yes, there is one down there. Thankfully the designer was kind enough to put that in. Let's go through here. That leaves us with 8. I'm trying to make sure I don't mess this up. We got a 3 down there. I want to say that there isn't another 4, is there? We may have to go through one of the 1s, but I don't know. I think we go through one of these. Let me just see here. Is there another 3 down here? I'm pretty sure. Yes, there is. Let's do that. And let's trade our red for a blue, because I think we've got 2 reds. Yes, we do. We do. Or maybe 3. Yeah, we did have 3 reds, because we need that last red for the exits, which is over here. So yeah, this level is probably not a level that you'd get on your first try, and it is very, very difficult, but it is a very good level, and I enjoy it a lot. Alright, Corral is the next level, and this is probably one of my favorites. It's a blob level, and it's a very open blob level, which I think is really cool. It's also something of a strategic level, because you can use blocks to box the blobs in if you want, like that. Or just as shields, in case you want to defend yourself. Either way, it's a lot of fun. And I can definitely see some people who enjoy the challenge of boxing them in, having fun with this. I think we need to go back up. Here we go. And we get the coveted green key. Let's see what wonders await us here. Oh, we'll just blaze right through. No biggie. I think it's safe to go back down, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see what's over here. More rooms. I like how these rooms are not saturated with blobs like everywhere. There's like only 1 or 2. It makes it a little bit less intimidating, and if you're still new to blobs, then it allows you to become a little bit more familiar with them without ramping up the difficulty to blob dance proportions, which is appreciated. Let's see. Unfortunately, we're going to need to exit the way we came, because this is a little bit of more of a narrow passage, and we don't want to block this. Although I suppose we could have just pushed this up like that. I guess that was an option. This last part is a little tiny tricky, but all you have to do is just wait for the blob to go into one of the corners and then exit. Courage. Looks like we'll need some courage to cross these little pathways here. So let's look both ways before we cross the street. This is pretty interesting. Gives you, tell you what, I'll come back to that one. I'll exit through there. In some ways, this kind of reminds me of Spooks, but with a different sort of approach, in which all the monsters are actually loose and they're not teeth, and you have to basically invade their territory rather than them invading your territory, which is kind of interesting. There's 1, and there's 0. Alright. And you know what? I think we'll end this video right there. So next time we will take on Constant Vigilance.